What's going on, everybody? I'm Ariel White, and I'm a whole experience. My strategies are Holy Spirit led. My activities challenge your thinking, and my hands-on approach leaves you ready to take action. I am a life coach, and I'm not here to play life with you. I'm here to do life with you. What's up, everybody? I am so excited. We are back for episode, let me make sure, 6 of We Can Eat Together. Thank you. Episode 6. And I'm excited for many reasons, because this is the last one of this episode, but more so because these beautiful ladies sitting at the table with me. Now, their faces probably are familiar to you because these wonderful, world-renowned models yes, were in the original cinematic theme. Where we were bringing all this amazing food together and creating a visual of how we can truly eat together as women. So before we go on, I want y'all to introduce yourselves. They know me. Hopefully y'all know me. And I want you all to introduce who you are.
I feel like I need to have Moesha theme song playing. I don't know why that's in my head. Anyway, my name is Taisha Beasley. I am the founder and CEO of November Media Publishing. I help aspiring authors, entrepreneurs, and leaders write industry standard books. And I love it sometimes, but I love it.
Okay, I am Nikki Carpenter. I am a writer. I'm an actress, the founder of Good Content Productions, and I love to say that I am a professional laugher.
You are.
I love laughing.
Wait, why do you say you're a professional laugher?
I just love laughing. Okay. It's my
I'm
favorite.
I'm here for it because I'm trying to get the happiness back in here.
Bring it.
So we have been talking about this topic of we can eat together, right? And you guys kind of already know the topic. I shared it with you, the vision for it. But I really wanted to sit down with my friends, my sisters, and talk about this because I do life with y'all. This isn't just a topic where it's this is something good to talk about. We have lived this whole thing. In some capacity, we've either helped, somebody else, encouraged somebody else, brought something to the table. And I feel like we are actively trying to walk this thing out of making sure we eating together, building together, all of this good stuff. But we have been discussing issues that stop us from eating together. So you guys are pretty much the experts. You're going to become the experts.
I think you're the expert.
Right.
But I'm around the right people to have this conversation. So what is it? How come women have a hard time eating together, growing together, building together? What is, in your minds, the issue? That's a loaded question.
It's so much. So Jesus. The first thing that I thought about was when I read Gabrielle Union's book, the first one. What was the first one? We May Need More Wine. I forgot the name of it. But she was saying how, specifically when it comes to Black women, sometimes we are barely getting it ourselves. And so when it's I just got this crumb, and you want me to split this crumb with you. I can't do that, because she was specifically talking about how sometimes older Black women, they don't pass the torch. It's hey, I've been doing this for a minute. I want you to run a company or whatever. Exactly. They sort of kind of hold on to it. But I think that's in general. I struggle with sharing auditions in the past because it's man, I want this myself. Most of the auditions are for white women or whatever. I don't want, but the mindset is just hey, I barely got it myself, and you want me to open it up amongst, exactly. So I think that's an issue that we really need to talk about. I think that
kind of hits on the whole scarcity mindset thing that we talked about a few weeks ago. The idea of there's this whole pie, and once that pie is going, that is it. In all actuality, it kind of makes sense. I've worked really hard. I've had to grind, sacrifice, and do all of these things. But when we kind of hold on to that mentality, it is that there's just not enough. And with you being in the acting field, like you said, roles for Black women are already, roles in general are small. Now you a Black woman in this field, it's going to be even smaller. So how, like, is there a way to say, like, okay, I know this is how I'm thinking, but, like, what do I do with these thoughts so that I'm not operating like that?
I want to respond to that because I feel like that's where I am now, that mentality. So it was really hard for me to think about how to answer the first question because I'm, like, in a place where, like, for example, I'm a publisher and I'm seeing a lot of publishers come up and I'm like, good, because I'm kind of like, I want all of us to be able to work together. But I think the biggest thing is just knowing that you bring something different to the table, no matter what you do, right? So it's like, you know, I know my sauce. You have a sauce. And I remember I met a woman of God and she was like, don't ever feel like you're in a crowded situation or profession, because who God have for you is for you. So it doesn't really matter, like, if other people are doing the same thing. But I feel like we have, like, similar personality types. So it's okay if we see, like, someone who's not like us winning or doing good, but if we see another woman who's our equal, we like,
wow,
you hitting something right there.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
You know what I mean?
It's a thing, and I can't even remember it. Maybe later it'll come to me, but it's a reason also why, like, friendships sometimes don't work, because we cool when we at the same level, but for some reason, if it feels like
some elevation,
you winning, you got a new house, you bought that car, like, it just is an intimidating factor there, and now we can't be cool in the same way. Like, no, we can't eat together no more because you think you up here. But in all actuality, a lot of times it's just like how people are perceiving you, and it's not even necessarily how, like, you're viewing yourself.
Right.
So, like, what do you do with that when, like, people are perceiving you one way and you are like, but that's not how I'm thinking. You know, I don't feel like I'm better than you, or I don't feel like I have it all together. I mean,
but can I give this approach to it, because this is a conversation me and one of my friends, Sade, y'all know Sade, we have that sometimes when people are like, oh, you know, you think you better than everybody, and, you know, I was telling her I was feeling like that. Like, sometimes people will think, oh, you think you're better than everybody, and she was like, well, let me let you think about this. Why not? Why can't I be better? If I have paid to take the lessons, if I have paid to you know what I'm saying? I'm up studying at night. I may be better. And why can't
the reality we don't think about.
Everybody can't win.
You know, but I was like, I never thought about it like that. You know, like, I'm taking Meisner lessons, which is a form of acting. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm studying the greats. I'm reading August Wilson. I'm making sure I know my homework. Like, why can't I'm better. I put in the works. And I was like, when she told me that, I had never even, like, that mindset had never even, like, discussed, because we're always so, as Black people, like,
be humble. Be humble.
Yeah, I'm just like the next one trying to make it. It's like,
I do think it's a hard position. So I may be better, but I shouldn't position myself to make you feel that I'm better.
Exactly.
I hope I inspire you. I've been taking these classes. I've been studying. I've been putting in work. I have good work ethics. Let this inspire you so that you can elevate in whatever you're doing. So it's like, I think you have to own that's something that Ariel always told, like, own it. Own where you are in life. Like, don't shy away from it. But, like, just keep your heart. Like, guard your heart.
It's a fine line for sure. It's like, I want to be in a place in life where I'm not dumbing down. You know what I'm saying? Like, just, you know, it's like almost like when somebody give you a compliment, you like, okay, but you're exactly. And it's like, no, I want to own it.
Negative. Like, girl, like that sweater, but girl, did you see my It's like, I was talking about your sweater.
I want to actually be able to own it. Like, you know what? I shine in that because I put in the work to shine.
I feel like that's not what we're taught, how to walk that line. I think it's the whole idea, once again, like I talked about before, being proud and having pride. Like, I really feel like God, like, we should be proud. Gee, you put in serious work, man. You sacrifice sleep, hours, hanging out with people you want to hang out with. Like, yes, I am proud of what I have accomplished. But for me to say, like, now I'm better than you, like, that doesn't fit, like, the biblical principles.
But you know what? I think real recognize real. And the people who are saying that you think you better, I think that they're not putting in the work for some reason. And so it's like, if I see another woman who's working hard and she hits that mark that she's been, I'm like, go girl. You know what I mean? But it's just like, it's the people who are like, they're not doing their part, and they just want it to happen overnight without the work, without the sacrifice, without the tears. Like, those are the people who always have something to say.
And I think you hitting on something that I didn't even really address this whole time. So I was talking to my brother Lamont, who was making all of this magic happen. But we were talking about like this concept of eating together. But you got to be mindful and discerning of who's at the table. Because if somebody, like, you bought the cake, I bought the meat, you bought a side, and somebody sitting over there didn't bring nothing, and they're enjoying.
They got the most to say.
They got the most, yes. So I think that's where we have to be mindful. Like, this concept of like eating together is not just about like, yes, bring everybody to the table. Because honestly, that's not even how Jesus set it up. He was very discerning on who was in his circle and who was in his inner circle. So like the whole idea of like being mindful of like you said, real recognize real. So if it's somebody at the table that is like coming for you, that's a toxic relationship. Like, I'm gonna have to excuse you from the table. Right. So I think that's when we are mindful and discerning of like, okay, who's sitting at this table? I know every time I have something, Nikki is very encouraging. I know every time I'm struggling, Taisha, I have somebody to talk to. You know, I have all these other friends who are encouraging me. But if you have somebody at the table, like, she don't even deserve that. Last year she was broke. You know, whatever that issue is, like, real ain't recognizing real there. You just coming for me.
And glorying in your downfall. Like, you have those women who are like closer to you when you're not producing where you want to be, but as soon as you start producing, they're like, what changed? What changed, Sway?
So I think I kind of want to transition just a little bit because honestly we can talk about this forever, and I really feel like you know, later on, me and Taisha always talking about like we should just develop something else, and maybe, you know, that'll come.
The after show.
Yes, the after. And we'll figure it out as God leads. So, but I do want to keep the ball rolling. So, we discussing the idea of like why we can't eat together, and if we gonna be real with each other, because like I say, I'm not here to play life with y'all. I'm here to do life with y'all. We had a situation. We're not just sitting at this table because we just look at us looking all cute and we all coordinated. We can figure things. No, okay. We have put in work, and I'm proud of that. Like, I'm not gonna walk around here, because what's interesting is as I began to share this topic, people were like DMing me and sending messages like, I love your friendships. That's amazing how y'all support each other. Like, I was just in awe because to me, we're just doing us. But like, in all actuality, not everybody has those type of relationships, but we have put in work. You know what I'm saying? So we actually worked on a very specific project together. And honestly, it was beautiful. It was amazing. But there's only one episode to show for it. So this was like right when the pandemic first started and we were still locked in the houses. You couldn't go nowhere. You wasn't at Marshall's hanging out. None of this, right? So we decided it would be dope to do, was it like a...
It was like Real Housewives of Atlanta, but it was... was it quarantine?
Yeah. So Real Housewives, it was a reality show vibe. We were basically kind of sharing our experiences of this pandemic life, what we were doing in each one of our households. I was somewhere in Schaumburg in a hometel. Hometel, yes. The pandemic got us kicked out of our home. Where we were staying. It's a whole thing. We'll talk about that later. But we were somewhere good. You guys were in old places.
We lived in Hyde Park, our old apartment. And we've since moved since then, thank God. But we were there in our 2-bedroom box.
Making it work.
Trying to figure it out.
Yes.
With a toddler.
And Taisha, you guys were still in Beverly, right?
Yes.
Beverly,
Blue Island.
Yeah.
Blue Island, yeah.
So we in different places now, but then we came up with this dope concept.
It was so dope.
And it was amazing. It was very well executed too, because we recorded on our own phones and everything. We created our own reality show for real.
That's when I became a content creator.
That's when
really that sparked the video. Okay,
yeah. So why did we had this amazing, it's amazing, y'all, go watch it, it's still on YouTube. I'll tag it in the link somewhere. So why is there only one episode? Like, we decided to work together, create this amazing project, but like I said, we're doing life with each other. I'm not here to play games with y'all. Like, we really are sharing life. So why did we do this amazing project and eat together in that one episode, and we stopped from there. Like, what was it?
You know what? I feel like there were like many factors that go into that. And like, one, me just like being in the industry, one, we did not have a producer per se, you know, so I feel like a producer can look ahead and say like, okay, these are the episodes I want, this is how many episodes I want, and this is what is the story I want to tell in each episode. So I think we were sort of kind of just like, let's just record our life and, you know, like see what happens, as opposed to like, this is what we want to say in 1, 2, 3, 1 through 10, and we have it, you know, we got some type of direction. So I think that was an issue on top of, it was a whole pandemic. And like the pandemic, it just brought so many different emotions from everybody trying to figure out, what are we even doing? You know, so I definitely think those issues played into it. So yeah.
What you think, Taisha?
I feel like let me be dramatic for like 2 seconds. I do feel like it was just a mixture of everything that Nikki said and strong-minded women trying to do a project that we didn't really know how to execute. So we all came with our different opinions and emotions and what we wanted to see come from it. But there was no direction. So maybe timing and maybe more preparation would have been beneficial.
So if we gave it, so I'm just going to play devil's advocate. If we gave it more time, I agree, because I did not, this is before like I even knew anything about media and what goes into it and the whole team. So I was very naive to like having a producer and having somebody, you know, to tell you and give you direction and all this vision. So now I can see that. But do you think if we gave it more time, because honestly, we prayed about something. We like, okay, we'll see how this goes. And then we just took off and ran with it. If we gave ourselves time, if we brought Nikki in as a producer, because I feel like she could have helped us with that. Or if we found a producer, do you
and
think,
videographers.
Yes.
Because trying to record yourself is something else.
It was interesting. Do you think that it would have been different, or is it the whole idea of like when you have strong-minded women come together, like, I don't know if it's gonna, you know, like, what do you think?
We're all bosses within our own means. And so that's tough when I think it's like this alpha woman thing that happens. And so somebody has to be the leader. And when you're working with other alpha women, it's kind of like, I'm gonna let you think you leading, but I'm gonna really lead from the background. You know what I mean? So
I think that's a tough question, because it goes back to like, what is the goal and what is the story we're trying to tell? And if we all are on one accord of like, we are telling this story, you agree? You agree? You agree? Okay, we're telling the story. Then it's like, no matter what, we're telling the story. But if we don't know what the story is, and then it's like changing as we go, it's like, well, I didn't really sign up. Then it's like, you know, because Real Housewives of Atlanta, they know like, I'm telling this story. Like, and I'm okay with, Nene is okay with like, hey, I'm this person, you know, I signed up
my role in
to
this.
be this person, you know.
So when you say telling a story, do you mean collectively or individually?
Both.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think we didn't set clear expectations from the beginning. So maybe the expectation was, I am going to do this with my sisters, and I'm going to, you know, we're going to make it look beautiful. We want it to be done in excellence, but like the expectations for each other was not clear. Like, I expect us to put in these many hours, or I expect you to be able to share this much information. Because we didn't set any expectations, it did leave us open for all kind of stuff to kind of fall apart. Even to this day, like, people really still ask, like, what happened? I wanted to see what the next episode,
and
what was the ladies' night gonna look like, you know?
For me, also, and this is just gonna sound terrible, but it is what it is. It was at the height of the pandemic, and I ordered this wig, and I didn't know like how to like pluck, you know, the edges and stuff, and so I didn't like how I looked on camera, and that was like a thing for me. I was like, this ain't how I want to show up in the world. I'm not the most comfortable right now with like, my style is more so a little different, but man, the beauty supply store was closed.
Oh my God. That's how you know it was bad.
Yeah,
the beauty supply store
was closed. No, wasn't nobody doing hair. And so I had like 2 different textures of my hair. Like I was trying to figure it out. Yes. And I'm like, pause. I need the Bravo team to come in here and give me the.
I do remember you saying that. Are you saying that now that you feel like you're more comfortable on camera? Like, could we?
So she's trying to go ahead and get
it.
So y'all want to do it again?
Gee, this is real live right here, John. We ain't really ever talked about like bringing this.
You know what?
Back.
I think timing is very important.
I agree.
And so I do think we should do it again whenever it's time. Mm-hmm. Do I think this could be a good time? I do. Because you already know my heart behind it. Like, I already know what God kind of showed me about it, and I do feel like it would be beneficial. And that's another part. The enemy, he sees things too. He's not God, but he also knows what's ahead. And so he will cause division and distraction because he knows if God is calling you to do something and what it can produce, he'll try to deter you from it. But I don't know. I think timing is the thing we should consider.
I agree. You know what's funny? When we first started, the only thing I think that was clear is like God had gave me a word for us that we would do something together and not to allow like, you know, petty stuff, whatever, to get in there. So I do think I mean, I just honestly, we sitting here at the table. We're doing stuff now. You know what
Nikki
I'm saying?
Like, this is not what I signed up for. Don't.
No, the only thing for me is like, cause I've done so much of like editing back in my day that like, I don't want to be a videographer for nothing. People be like, can you? I be like, no, I don't want to shot. So like, you know how my brother has like a YouTube channel and they have like somebody like following them and stuff. I'm like, the next time I do something, I need somebody to follow me and just chop it up because I hate, oh my gosh. And I always have audio issues with myself. I just be like,
I know.
I just can't. I hate it.
Team.
It's so much.
And I think that's, now I don't regret any of it, to be honest with you. I'm like I said, I'm a leader link. I still do love the concept, but I think what I love more is that over the years, like I've developed my relationship with y'all, so I can say like, this is important to Nikki, so it's important to me. Yeah. Like maybe 2 years ago, whenever we did, I'm like, girl, ain't that serious? It's cool. We gonna make it work. Yeah. But no, if this is important to you, it's important to me. And I don't think maybe we were there to look at it that way. I mean, it was a whole pandemic. It was a lot going on. But I think it would be easier for us to sit down and work on a project and really eat together and grow together in that aspect. Yeah. Because we build relationships outside of what it is we're working on and what we're doing. And that makes all the difference. You got
I totally agree. No, I was just thinking about the sovereignty of God because I do feel like my relationship with both of you have gotten stronger. We're closer and I call you sisters. And so to your point, like we really can show up for each other. Yeah. You know, if we are filming together or something's going on. And I think working together will be better because now we know each other and how each other really feel.
Exactly.
Can I tell y'all what I really want?
What you want?
I would love for us to do like a special in like New York or something.
We going to New York
or New Orleans
and we're gonna get a sponsor.
LA.
I mean, I'm there.
And like literally for like those like 4 days that we're there, we're like filming and stuff, and then we just like put it out there.
Well,
I'm here for that.
I would love that.
Let's go.
Not right now because New York is a whole pandemic. New York is out of control again. But like, if we just all agree on a city,
like maybe like a birthday, like this summer, like I don't know.
I'm down for that.
I don't know. Just, I think we should all just put like different cities we want to do in a cup or a bowl, and let's just let's pick.
Are you bringing our husbands and children?
Yeah, who gonna film us?
We're not gonna bring children.
Who's gonna film us right now? Right now, the husbands are the videographers. Hold this camera. You know,
that's true.
We're gonna hash this out because I like this.
Because like a mini thing and just put it out there. You test it. Like okay.
But I feel like this is how it has to work. Like you kind of have to test it out. You can't just say like that didn't work last time, so I'm not doing it again. Which kind of I want to transition into that because it ties in with the topic of I talked about friendship hurt. And I will honestly say, like, we have had, all of us at this table have had some type of
with
issue
each other, which is crazy.
Yeah. And somewhere with most people, honestly.
Nikki, did you just look at me like, Nikki? We had like a little section, and then
Nikki don't remember, Taisha. Nikki doesn't remember.
What? We didn't have beef.
Yeah.
It was just we didn't know each other.
We didn't know each other.
At least she don't say you tried to fight her.
You tried to fight me.
I'm from the low end of Chicago.
At a church?
But no, it wasn't. It was in my home. She tried to assault me in my home.
Okay, first, you see, look at this friendship hurt. It is happening right now.
Deep. So while you sitting here doing all these podcasts about me,
She done came on the show, guys, so put me out there. Oh my God.
I am so joking. I mean, you did try to fight me, but it was mutual.
Okay.
That was a build.
It was mutual?
Well,
So you say I tried to fight you, but you leave out the part where you tried to fight
I
me.
wasn't gonna let you hit me. I mean, it was just gonna be.
Y'all, she from Kankakee. Y'all don't know what them Kankakeans are doing.
I cannot.
But let's a little bit of the history.
Yes,
so
go ahead.
we had an organization together.
We did. Banner of Modesty.
Right, we had a whole song like a banner of modesty. You know,
Wow.
modesty. It was dope, and we were maybe timing again because I feel like I had lost a child during that time, and I didn't feel like you understood.
Yeah.
You kind of like you need to get to work. I don't care that you.
Yeah.
And that's how I felt. She never said
yes.
it, but I felt like that, and we just started to the misunderstanding. We weren't communicating,
Yes.
so it was a lot. Like if she did something, I took it the wrong way. If I did something, she took it the wrong way, and it was like I seen her out with you guys actually.
It was for my birthday.
For her birthday.
See, we can discuss this because we talk about, like, we don't, everything we put on the table. We have discussed this.
Yes.
We're good. Go ahead.
So I saw you, and my husband was in denial because he was just, I was like, Ariel is not, she's not our friend anymore, David. And he was just like, no, I don't believe that. And then when he saw you out for your birthday, he was like, we need to have a family talk because that's how David is. I'm like, okay, she can come over. But I was already in my feelings. It was too late. It was 3 years in the game at this point of build up.
Yes.
And so she came over in this black coat. The coat
Here she goes.
The coat was bad. That's the only reason why I remembered it. It was
coat.
like a baby doll coat, and she had on these black boots.
I feel like I know that coat.
I have tons of pictures in this coat.
She had her hair down. She looked like something off of Real Atlanta Rise or something.
Okay, go ahead. I love Taisha, y'all. She's telling a story.
I'm a storyteller. And so we were sitting across from each other, and it was very emotional.
It was.
Because I think we hadn't talked for real in 3 years.
Yeah.
But all I remember her
Which
saying...
sounds so crazy right now. To think about, like, where we are now and that, like, for 3 years we just let stuff slide is... But go ahead, yeah.
And I just remember you said I threw shade, and I was like, what is shade? Because I hadn't heard that word.
This was that like 7 years ago?
It was about. I was
that.
like, what is shade? So I'm looking at my husband like, what is she talking about shade? Like, what she's come over here with all these words? And so
I cannot.
I don't know.
She telling the story.
What is shade? What is
Go
shade?
ahead, Taisha.
So she tried to attack me, but we'll leave out that.
What happened? What?
I said something she didn't like, and all I know is like she got
I did
up,
stand
like
up.
she was about to like come for me, and then I just remember my husband was like, wait, and then
I was about to leave the house.
But it looked like she was about to attack me, so I took it as she was about to take them boots and try to kick me with. So
now everything I had on, you are right on. I had the boots. I had the coat.
You came over there cute on purpose, like I was an ex-boyfriend or something. Like she showed up.
I was coming to show out. Like, look what you missing.
You missing all this friendship. And so fast forward, I don't even think we really connected again after that. But it was when you invited us to
a pop-up shop. Yep. When I did cupcakes back in the day.
And you were pregnant, but I didn't know. And so you did an announcement. And I just remember you said, like, it was like you were having a baby, and it was real joy.
It was, yes. I watched that video all the time. Like, she really cared. And I really didn't think she cared no more. I'm like...
Wow. And that's how I knew. I'm trying not to get emotional, but that's how I knew, like, were... like, you were a sister, and I loved you. You know what I mean?
Yes, for real. Crying on here.
Because, you know, sisters go through things. And I think I got to the point where I just was so happy for her because I knew that was something she really wanted. And so when she said that, it was like all of the animosity and everything just fell off.
It
and
didn't
God
matter.
started to slowly, he started to rebuild our friendship, but it was genuine and it was real.
It was. It really was. And I remember that time so well because, like I said, when we first were friends, like our first 3 years of friendship, I feel like we were putting on airs for like who you want me to be in this relationship. But then after that, our whole breakdown, and she swear I tried to beat her up.
You did.
But I feel like when we came back to that place, it was like, at the core of it, I love you. What we gotta do to fix this? You know what I'm saying? And we did not share our feelings. Like, you shared real feelings, and I shared my real feelings, and we said, okay,
that's good.
Okay, I honor those feelings. I'm sorry for my part in it, and like, let's for real do this thing for real. And it wasn't fake. It wasn't no fluff. It was just real. And that's I do know, like, it is a difference between like just a friend, you know, an acquaintance, and like God sent friendships. Because what's that sound? Every time you leave, sometimes you keep holding me back. It's like we couldn't get away from each other. It was like, nope, we coming back. Nope, we coming back. It also, our husbands are best friends.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that was a blessing in it too, because I don't know what that would have looked like if we just would have went our separate ways. Like, I would have missed out on all of this. And that was up.
And now that's how I feel about Nikki. Like, we've gotten close, and then like our families, the family's definitely, I won't say is the base of the friendship, but or the foundation. But you start thinking about covenant friends as you get older. It's not just like, oh, I like this person because they make me happy. You start thinking about like covenant, like whether this person makes me happy or not, I want to show up for them. I want to be there for them. I want to support them. I want to do life with them.
Exactly. Yeah.
And so now at this point, if either one of you try to leave, I'm showing up at your homes. And it's just
uninvited,
uninvited. And it just is what it is.
She's showing up with a black coat on.
And she gonna try to beat you up, Nikki, and I'm gonna tell the story about how
Right, and I can't fight, so I'm just be like,
we just gonna be scrapping together like this.
So you say you guys have a story.
I mean, not necessarily a story, but like, you know how sometimes
we had a moment at a friend's house. You remember that conversation?
Which one?
With
If they don't mind, I don't mind.
Well, no, but we had a moment. It was like a conversation where like we was talking. It was real conversation about like, okay, I felt like you wasn't sharing my stuff in your group on Facebook, and then you felt like I was just being shady, just not participating and stuff, whatever. But there was a moment where I did feel like, and this is real live. I felt like Steve and I were like, y'all people, you know, and then I felt like it went to the Beasleys, and it was like,
I don't like that I'm the common denominator.
We not the
Beasleys first.
Because it was like, I think y'all had went somewhere out of town, and it was like something we had did together, like and so when I saw that, I was like, I showed Steve like, oh, we not in with the whites no more. It's the Beasleys thing. So we did sort of kind of have like a thing where it's like, dang, where do we? Because we was like road dogs, you know, and then it's just like, I don't know what happened. I don't know, you know. So
I think sometimes what happens in friendships is we don't stop to check in, right? Yeah. So like this idea that it's supposed to be easy, I feel like now we're much better at it. It's like, you go. It seemed a little weird. You sure you're a little weird? But like, we would just let time go by. Like, I know over the years I've become okay with confrontation, but like when we first was building a relationship, it was like, oh, it's fine. She probably didn't mean it, instead of saying like, did you mean that? Because ultimately what's going to happen is you're going to build resentment and harbor feelings. And that does take a level of maturity, because most people rather just ignore it than say and be vulnerable, say, you hurt my feelings. Like us having that conversation was just like, okay, I'm just gonna put it out here, and if I get hurt in it, then I just get hurt. And I feel like that's what has to happen in order to go to that next level, even in friendship. For us to sit here like this together, we gonna put in work. You know what I'm saying? This is not no over the night type thing. And people think you just go to Atlanta or go to New York and we gonna take you pictures. It's like, no, you don't see what happened behind the scenes. You didn't see when I confronted her, she didn't understand, and then we came back. Put God in the middle of it. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that is the conversation like people don't want to have about friendship hurt. Now sometimes relationships are toxic. Let those go.
I don't.
So how do you know? How do you know when you should say this is covenant and this is not? Like, just don't put any energy into that.
I think like one covenant is like very rare. You know, like when Jonathan put the scripture up about David, like I went and read it and I was just like, that is like so rare. Like for to love somebody like you love yourself, you know, like, and for God to like bless you with that, I think that's rare just in general. And so I don't think every friendship is covenant, but just because it's not covenant, I don't think, oh, I can't be your friend because we're not covenant, you know, like I just think that like, you know, there are some friends that are like, oh, you're a friend, you're a genuine friend. But I think when it's toxic, when like, so Steve's best friend, Lloyd, I said something to Steve like a long time ago, and like I'll never forget like what he said. He was like, "Man, I just want everything God has for you. Like that makes me so happy to see like you living in everything God has for you, and I don't have a inch of like, man, like I'm like, like you know." And so I think like if somebody is toxic, it's like, oh, I saw you open your store, you know, and I feel like, why couldn't you ask me to, you know what I'm saying? Like, or like, if it's like, I can't really rejoice with you, then it's like, this is becoming toxic. Exactly, like I have to hide, you know what I'm saying? Everything God has for me, that I think is toxic as opposed to like, man, I'm so happy for you. Like, I'm so happy that God is doing that for you. So I think that's how you sort of kind of like differentiate. Like,
I think I have to define like what I see a friendship being. And then I can measure up of whether you toxic. So like when I think of like real friendship, it's somebody that will fight for me. So when I'm not in the room, you gonna have my back. You gonna fight against me. You know what I'm saying? If I'm doing something crazy, and you like, I need to challenge you in this area since you're wrong. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes I need that too. And somebody that's going to fight with me. So like, I'm struggling in family issues. You're like, nah, we're going to pray this. We're going to pray together with this. Like, for me, if you're going to fight with me, fight for me, and fight against me when I need that, like, that is real friendship. And if you're in my circle and you don't have any of those things, that's toxic to me. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't want you around, and I can't celebrate my wins. And I don't want you around when you can't encourage me through my losses and be like, but that doesn't define you. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that happens too often where you good with me when I'm struggling or there's an issue, but if it seemed like God is moving in my life or whatever that may be, even if you think things are, that could be your perception, and you wishing something ill, or it's something as simple as this. If you see something going well in my life and you have a tinge of, I'm not talking about, I can't stand her, I'm talking about, because that little seed,
that tinge,
is going to grow into something else. A
full-blown tree.
And to me, that's toxic because it will develop into something else. And honestly, like we say this all the time, we're too old for that. Like we do not have the time. God has called us to way too many things to be sitting in a room with people that aren't trying to celebrate you and they just tolerating you. We don't have the time, and that's not a prideful thing or anything. Like I respect myself enough in everything God put in me. I want to steward it, and I can't steward these gifts well if I know you're going to steal my peace or you're going to say something negative and not encourage me to be all He called me to be. So
you do have to protect your space and your energy. I mean, have to protect it. I know for me, I can go a little overboard because I have my people. And the new people who try to come in, they don't sometimes have a chance. But it's not that they don't. It's like I'm just very protective of my energy. Because it's like, and I know people take that word and run with it, but I mean just how I feel.
Exactly.
How you make me feel.
Yes.
So if someone makes me feel uncomfortable, like I don't have time for this right now in my life. Like there's already so many things pulling at me. I need to be around women or the brothers and sisters in Christ who are going to like keep me encouraged. I feel good around them. If I gotta sit next to you and wonder if you really like me, like I just don't have.
It's too high school.
It's too much. It's too much, and I just don't have it in me.
That's good.
I don't have it in me to fake anymore.
That's it. I feel like as you begin to identify yourself, who God called you to be, I don't even have energy to fake it with you.
I don't have it.
Like that's not being my authentic self, because I finally have figured out who I am.
Right.
Yeah.
And now I gotta fake it with you. I can't. I really can't do that. And I wouldn't encourage y'all to do that either, because it does you a disservice. How can you be all God called you to be? How can you walk in purpose? How can you build businesses, encourage your sisters if you faking it? Nobody has time for that. And I know we live in this social media era, and I'm learning not to say I have a love-hate relationship. I'm learning to figure out social media in a way that works for me, because I actually don't hate it. It's a great tool. But we are being taught with social media to just put up the highlights, put up the good stuff, just make them think you're a certain way. And it's in a way teaching us to be inauthentic. And I can't do that in my real relationships with people. I don't, like you said, had a time for that.
So it's good you said that, because I do feel like we do have like that social personality and then that intimate personality. So like, y'all know the real Taisha.
I like the real Taisha. I love the real Taisha.
Right. Yes.
And she comes out from time to time in the social.
Yes.
I feel like I'm very authentic. But you know, like, I do feel like people get offended when they're not getting that access to that version of you that everybody else have access to. So how do you navigate through that?
I have a great, or hopefully this is a good analogy. So when I think about that, because I agree, some people, they're looking for that inner access and they haven't, access denied. You don't have it. So I think of it almost like when you go to like a apartment complex or whatever, like the people that, or even sometimes hotels, if you're on the first 6 floors, like you got a certain access. But if you go into the penthouse, you got to put a key code in. You know why you got to put a key code in? Because you paid the cost to get that access.
That's good.
I feel like we have to stop thinking like I deserve all the access to you. Even with like famous people, you don't deserve all the access. You have not paid the cost to get to the penthouse floor. So be okay with being at level 1 through 6 with them. If you have not paid the cost, if we have not prayed together, if you have not sowed a seed, if I have not sowed a seed into you, let's be self-aware and realistic. It's nothing wrong.
It's nothing wrong
with saying
like you don't like that person.
Exactly, not at all. Like I can still love you with the love of God. I can still encourage, pray, be there, all of these things, but you have not paid the cost. We got 10 plus years in friendship game. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to get the access to me at day 1 or year 1. It's just not going to work that way. That's not how anybody does it. You know what I'm saying? It's just, to me, if you're aware and you're just, realistic, then you set expectations where you don't get hurt. So, I mean, I don't know.
And there's this therapist I follow online. I think her name is Brittany Moses, but she helps you like just interact in a healthy way on social media. And she's a Christian. And she was like, we were not prepared for the wave of social media. We were not emotionally prepared for it. So and she was like, when you stop and think, you were never meant to have 800. Let's start at like the lowest of people following you. So like 25K people watching you at all times. That's true. Think about life pre-social media. If you just walk in a room and it's like 25,000 people, hey, here's my deepest thought I had last night. Like that's not normal. Like so she's like, we were never meant to have all these eyeballs on you talking to you at one time. That's just not normal. And so she encourages us to like do these practices of like stepping away, or like if you don't get 80 likes, that's normal. Like you were never meant to back in the day we looked at photos like with our family, like 10 people in a room, and now you want all these likes. Why? That's we were never meant for that. And so I like that helps me with just like, okay, I was never meant to have all of this. You were not meant to have access to me, and I wasn't meant to have access to you like that, So like it helps just normalize it in my head. Like it's not normal anyway. This is not normal anyway.
I didn't even think about that, but I feel like that totally switches my perspective on everything. And I think if we did have that mindset, more people wouldn't be so invested in, they didn't like me.
Oh my God.
Yeah. That impacts, how I feel about myself.
Because it's not normal. When you take it away, like it's real life happening outside of this. And that's something like we as moms have to be mindful of, because they're coming up in it. Like we remember life without it. So it's like, okay, it's actually better when I don't have it, But they are like literally like India's like, welcome to my YouTube channel. And it's like, you don't even have a channel, but so it's like, we have to normalize that with them. Like, this is cool, but like, let's go sit and just play and talk and be, so you won't feel that pressure to be whoever this person is that's saying welcome to, that ain't really who you are, so
that's true.
It's so much.
Okay. Well, this is such a good conversation, and I'm telling y'all, I could go on forever. And I'm looking at the clock,
so
like, okay, be mindful of time.
It's so good.
But thank y'all for joining us. Make sure you go to the YouTube channel, subscribe, like, all of that stuff. I always forget all of these things, but y'all know
follow
what to
her
do.
on Instagram.
Thank you, friends. Thank you so much. Just Ariel White. But before we close out, Nikki has an activity. I love Nikki. She
brings joy.
Yes. Come on and spark some joy in our life.
Okay.
She's going to help us to close out with this amazing activity. Go ahead.
Okay, so we're going into a new year.
Yes, we are.
And people always share like their deep, resolutions. Like, I want to lose weight. I want to get out of debt. That's fun. But whatever. I want us to share at least 3 light resolutions. So it can be silly, it can be fun, nothing deep, nothing about I want to apologize. We know whatever, but I want I want a light resolution.
3 of them?
Up to 3. Okay. You don't have to share 3, but like just 3. Okay. So I can share mine because I already thought about mine. Okay. So the first one is I want to buy more coats. Because the older I get, I just realized that coats just make a whole outfit.
They do.
It's a whole mood. So I want more coats.
Well, I already like the green one that you started with. So
thank you.
I encourage it.
I want to discover more perfumes because that's just my love language. Yes. I love aromatherapy. And I want to jump in more pools. I just want to jump in some pools. I sort of kind of want to skinny dip.
Ooh,
so
I know if you knew reaches.
Right. So those are my 3 resolutions. That's at some point next year, I'm gonna be skinny dipping somewhere.
I love that. Okay, Tamika Carpenter.
She gonna have on that green coat. And
right, and bust it out.
She gonna have that coat,
Where's Steve gonna be in this? Wait, is he gonna be on the side?
He gonna be the videographer. I gotta have proof that it happened.
Oh my God, hilarious. Do you have one, or you want me to go?
You can go.
Okay, I'm still thinking. Go. The one that sticks out most is what I keep saying. Like, I just want to have more fun and be happy overall.
More fun.
I love this question because we so deep.
Yeah.
We so goal driven. We so like we got a purpose.
Yeah.
That's cool, but we need a break. So I just want to have fun. Like, I'm talking about if my kids want to play hide and go seek, we playing hide and go seek. You know what I'm saying? Like, we getting Nerf guns and shooting each other in the house. Fun.
That.
It's just as simple as that. And I think another one is like, just when I want to do it. So like, every time I watch Creed, in my mind,
you watch it a lot.
I don't watch it a lot because of one person. It's not, even though Michael B. Jordan is in the movie, that is not what. No, but I want to take a boxing class. Like, and I keep saying
you should do
I just feel like, okay, random. Old guys always hit on me.
Yeah.
Like, I attract some
Jonathan
old.
is coming for you after this episode. I just want you to know. You talked about Michael, now you talking about old
if she's saying boxing, Layla, Layla's name.
See, we can talk about that because Jonathan named my baby after his crush, Layla Ali.
So, brother, I got you. Okay.
But the old guy told me that you look like a boxer. So in my mind, I was like, well, maybe he's right. No, but I wanted to box anyway. Yes. So I think I just want to, when I say I want to do the thing, just do it. Even if it's not long term. Like, okay, if I want to, go paint, whatever it is, like, just do it.
Just do it.
And stop tripping on it.
Yeah.
I think the other thing is maybe trying new food.
I know one for you.
What? What's one? Give me one.
Pink hair.
Do it. You ain't gonna say that.
You ain't saying nothing but a word because I'm going to the beauty supply right after this. You gotta find the right pink hue though, because my niece and I were looking at them and I'm like, I can't be like that lady.
Yeah, right.
I think that you should totally do it for your birthday and just pop out.
I told her some pink braids.
I like that.
Just
okay.
like,
I'm gonna show y'all some pictures after we wrap.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm sitting here rubbing my legs like an old person. You know, you're getting older. Okay, for me, more fun. I just don't know how yet.
Yeah.
So definitely more fun. More special times away from social media. So like, you know, I love social media. People can talk about me all day long. Like, I know how to. I love why I use it. Like, I use it to encourage people. But more times that it's like I'm having a girls' night and we just wilding out and there's no highlights from it. It's just unwinding. And I don't know. I want to say writing, but I feel like that's serious. So, what, do you have one for me?
No.
Okay,
So I would say more color because from the brunch we talked about with
I have on red.
I know.
But you did that in New York.
I'm just saying for fun, like just
You're right.
You know, just hey, let me just if I normally go here, let me go here. That shade.
You gonna think about it?
I'm gonna think that is tough.
Isn't that what you did in New York though?
I was a whole different person in New York, but New York brought that out of me.
Just bring it back. Bring it back.
We gonna go get it when we do our.
Yes, and we are definitely open to sponsors if you'd like to send us to New York. Because we have some amazing content that we can create there.
Just check out our New York trip.
Yes, coming soon. Well, thank you, ladies, so much. This was awesome. Brandon, Taisha always is touching people. Thank you all so much. I hope you all enjoyed. And we are wrapping on this series of We Can Eat Together. If you have not checked out the other episodes, make sure you do that. And we will see you all later. Y'all are the bomb. Good job, ladies. We did it.
That was fun.